Oh no, oh no, our property values have gone down.
Since when? Like 2 years ago, or when you
Yes, 2 years.
bought? Okay.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We are privileged to have been able to, for over 30 years, come alongside you, not only to sell, buy, and invest in real estate over 3,117 times, to come alongside you to build your fund, build your faith, build your finances, build your fitness, and even strengthen, heal, and flourish inside relationship. We're going to discover that what we've learned over the last season, and I'm going to say relearned, learned and new, because this is old news brought back to life.
Sure.
Is that timing the market is really less valuable than time in the market.
Yeah. Time in the market always trumps or beats timing the market.
Exactly. Just so good. And I'm sure if you're sitting in a situation right now where you bought in the last 2 years, you're thinking, what? Or especially if you bought 2 years ago.
Oh, if you bought in the height, then hang on tight.
Exactly. Let's say that again. If you bought in the height, hang on tight.
Yeah, and we'll give a little caveat to that at the end of this.
No, we're going to do it right
segment.
now.
Okay, do it right now.
Because if you are saying, I bought at the height, I've lost a lot of money, but I still have a pile of equity, I want to make a move to a bigger house because I can gain more than I'm going to lose, and financially I can still do it, even with maybe I can port my mortgage, maybe I can handle the interest rates, maybe there is good reason. If you're in a modest home and you're thinking this is the season to buy the larger home,
it may still be a good time.
It may still be a good time. So what we're saying is time your life, time what works for you that you can do at a given time, rather than always be looking for what's the height of the market, because it's most of the time, I mean, a few people lucked out, and yet it eludes a lot of people. Because if you bought in the height and you bought a larger home, then did it really help you? Even though you got a pile of money on your house.
Just hang on.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking, well, I bought a townhouse and now I'd really like a bigger single, it's a little tight. Well, what you lose in equity on that one, you'll gain on the next one, because the next one's gone down more. We're finding that, the $1 million house that was selling 2 years ago is now, maybe down to 800 or 750 to 800. And the townhouse is down 100,000, from 750 to 650.
Or maybe, yes.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Just rough estimates. And so where you lost 100, you may gain up another 100 by moving up in size if you can afford it, and all the cards align that way.
Right. And if that's not what you're doing, what we're also saying is kind of two messages wrapped that we've learned is work within what works for you and take advantage of what the market's doing. Be resilient in your approach.
Yeah. And if this is all confusing, then what you want to do is reach out to us together at Dekker Team. Ask your questions, or maybe it's a clarity call that's going to work for you. We're going to spend 15 minutes and just discuss your situation. What we see might be great options for you. And then you can make decisions that are wise. Or maybe we come and do an actual consultation after the call. Maybe it's like, oh, you need more depth. We need to see your house. We need to see the house you're thinking of, or whatever the situation is. So it may take further investigation, further consultation, but at least you'll start that path and you won't be sitting there going, this is clear as mud, Ken and Yetta.
Well, and part of that too, I think, is sometimes we feel when there's a bit of pressure, maybe the increased interest rates makes it feel like you can't afford to stay in your house anymore. And yet responding knee-jerk reaction can cost you a lot more loss than necessary. So slowing down the decision, not if there's an emergency. We all know there are times to react like super fast. Right? If you have a medical emergency, you don't want to say, hey, I'm going to slow down the process here. Right? If you're, no,
that's true.
Right?
We might want to slow down the diagnosis so we don't falsely prescribe,
Right.
but we don't want to slow down the process of getting the help we need.
Right. So there are times where we need to make a quick decision. And yet most of the time, those are in emergency situations. Most of the time, we will feel the pressure of what has to happen and then think a quick decision might be a good idea. And I'm going to tell you, slow it down, rethink, recalibrate, reset, and get some answers specific to your situation. I mean, when we've done that, we do so much better.
Yeah. It's like slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
Because once you've slowed down and you've got the clarity, then you can, your actions can be very, very quick. Like some of our clients say when they're buying a property that, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe how fast that went. And the reason it was able to go fast was we slowed down at the beginning. We did the consultation. We got, they got their financing in place. All the ducks were aligned, so to speak. And by the way, sometimes ducks do that way, right? You see all the little ducklings walk after the duck. Yeah. Ducks do align sometimes.
Right.
At any rate. And then because we went slow at the beginning, when the right property came, fast, they bought a house within a week.
Or 48 hours or whatever the case may be,
I'm just saying
right?
with the conditional period and that, but things happen fast at the end because you're prepared at the beginning.
Right. And we took the time to prepare for this episode, or this segment actually, where we wrote down 6 examples where we had helped buyers purchase a property anywhere from 4 or 5 years ago to 12 years ago, I think was the longest. We took that sort of timeline, and then where we've resold the property. And for the most part, the examples we used were, well, actually, I think all of them, they actually sold the properties in 2023. Yeah. So not at the height of the market, not in February of 2022.
No, so
even,
technically they lost compared to March of 2 years ago.
Right, because we could have used some of those examples too. We had lots of clients that bought in the lower times 4 or 5 years ago, even 2 years before the peak, and they sold in the beginning of 2022 and locked out. So we're not even using those illustrious examples. Right. We're saying even if you bought 5, 7, 10, 12 years ago, and that's the point, stay the course. Because even with the downturn, still most people doubled and some tripled when they sold in 2023. So
let's talk about some specific ones. We picked them from all over the place, all different price ranges, right? We had one rural near the 401.
Is that the one that they paid $115 for?
$115, bought in 2017. Yeah. We just sold it a month or two ago. That sold at $354, I believe it was.
Hasn't even closed yet.
$354.
And they did minor improvements. Because sometimes people are saying, well, if you did a complete gut or you did a flip, well, then of course that's the case. But these are not examples where there was extreme work done. There was maintenance and a little bit of ongoing painting and care.
Yep. Yeah. Another one, 2018 was a condo in the city. Not like a condo apartment, was like a
condo
garden
townhouse.
Home, right? Bought for their son who was going to university. Bought it in 2018 for $162 and just sold it for $350 in 2023.
Right.
Yeah.
And another one, can we do one more?
Okay, squeeze it in.
Okay, so this was a higher end property. They paid $895 about 5 years ago, resold it just a few months ago and sold it for just shy of 1.4. So even in that price range, there was great wins.
And we're grateful you've joined us on Life's Inside Track, because when we move forward together, we got this.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together.